Good morning, GM. Oh my gosh, I'm wearing my GM shirt today and my good news hat. So today is a good day to welcome you to Superchain Opportunities. This is our Tuesday show where we are going to break down all of the opportunities that are happening right now in the Superchain ecosystem that you need to be aware of, whether you are a creator, a builder, whatever, a content creator. There's a ton happening right now for On-Chain Summer, and this show is here to help you get the most up-to-date information about all the exciting things that are happening. So bear with me. We are going to make sure that this show is streaming live in all of the places. So give me 1 second. Definitely drop a hello if you are here watching this. And maybe if this is your first time, definitely say hello. I'm going to pin this to the top of my profile right now. We're going to get this retweeted, casted, all of the things into all of the places. And then we're going to get started because there's a ton of things happening today. All right, so bear with me. Here we go. All right, we are taking applications for show producers. So if you want to come and help me run this show, please come along. You can hang out in the green room. You can help us get this show in all the places. But for now, it's just me. It's just me, and I'm Rachel Wilkins. If this is your first time at any of the Good News shows, welcome. I started this show in November 2022 as a counter to all of the FUD and all of the negativity that was happening around the FTX crisis, and we've been doing this show every week since. On Mondays, we have a partnership show with Timepieces called The Good News Show, of course, and we break down more of a broad spectrum of good things that are happening in the Web3 space. Tuesday, we are here for the Superchain Opportunities, which is really just a show for you to be up to date with all of the exciting things that are happening during On-Chain Summer and beyond On-Chain Summer as well. Wednesday, we have a Superchain Spotlight show, which is where we go a little deeper into kind of trending topics of the week. And we also sit down with a special guest. And I'm excited to let you know that tomorrow's special guest is the founder of Degen. And there's been a lot of really interesting things happening in the last week or so. We won't talk about what Degen is at right now because it's a little painful, but there's a lot of exciting things happening in the Degen ecosystem. So we're very excited about that. So we're going to have Jacek, I'm probably butchering his name. I apologize in advance. He is going to be joining us tomorrow on the Superchain Spotlight show as a special guest. And then Thursday, we're going to be back with our Superchain Fun show. So very exciting. Lots of really cool things coming up. So we have a special guest joining us today from 3DNS. I think they're just having a few problems with their camera. So what I'm going to do is just jump into some of the exciting things that are happening right now. Let's do that. Okay, so last week, just a little summary of some of the things that went down last week. So last week was the first week of OP rewards, and that was distributed by Rounds WTF. If you're not on Farcaster, in case I didn't emphasize it enough last week, you need to get on Farcaster. It is, I don't want to say it's mandatory, but if you want to be eligible for any of these rewards that are being distributed on a weekly basis, you really do need to be active in that ecosystem. And you need to be showing up and talking about what you're building. So as you can see here, there was 100 entries that shared 5,000 OP that was distributed via Rounds WTF. Yesterday, there was a tweet that went out that said there was still, I think, 1,000 OP that had not been claimed. So if you did share something on that page, on that On-Chain Summer page, make sure you go there and claim your OP. And excited to share that there will be another rounds opening this Wednesday. It will be Wednesday to Wednesday, and there's going to be 5,000 OP once again available to be claimed. So how do you become eligible for that? Well, you just build. You just build and talk about what you're building and go tag even Superchain on this wonderful page over here. All right, we're going to come back to the news in a second because we have our special guest joining us. So I want to welcome Paul from 3DNS. Hi, Paul. How's it going?
Hey, Rachel. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for jumping in and joining us. I know this was kind of last minute, but we appreciate you jumping in.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having us. Excited to chat.
So tell us what's going on, because I know there's some exciting news. I don't know how much we can say about OP DNS just yet. We can kind of tease it a little bit, but tell us a little bit about you and about the company that you founded.
Yeah. So my name's Paul. I started 3DNS about a year ago. 3DNS is tokenizing Web2 domains, right? So like website domains that you go to, in a browser. And we're putting them on the blockchain so you can control and manage them fully on chain, which lets you, trade, transfer, control them with multi-sigs, like have DAOs own their domains, stuff like that. And we started that about a year and a half ago. Before that, I was building stuff at Coinbase. I helped build CB.ID and some different identity things with them, which kind of led me to this. And so over the last year and a half, we've been working on tokenizing domains and basically getting feature parity with the Web2 world. And now we're starting to roll out a lot of new, interesting like Web3 native products that you couldn't do before. Right. So one specifically is what we're doing with Optimism. And it's what we kind of, started to soft announce last week is this new OP namespace, right? Or Superchain identity. And it's basically around this next round of GTLD auctions, which the GTLDs are the generic top level domains that you can apply for. And it's like, how do we start to let users register and set up their names, and then how do we go after and claim this TLD.
So I will say that probably most of our audience are like non in the weeds techie people. So just kind of breaking it down for somebody who's a non protocol, non techie person, like what would be the advantages of having something like this?
Yeah. So there's going to be a couple kind of simple ones with traditional websites, and then there's going to be some stuff on the roadmap. But the very kind of basic ones are it'll work as a normal website domain, right? You'll be able to kind of get your own name. If we secure these new TLDs in the auction, right? So that's like how websites have .com. What we're doing is we're going to be applying for .chain and .super, right, for the Superchain. If you get your .chain or .super subdomain, and we get the TLD, then you'll get the corresponding second level domain, right? So you'll be able to use it as a normal website. It'll plug into ENS, so you'll be able to use them as ENS names out the gate, right? And then we're also just going to build it into the Superchain ecosystem, right? So it'll work in block explorers, it'll work in wallets, it'll work in just different apps and so on. And then we're going to plug it into different things, right? With just like very basic stuff like the RF, the retroactive like public funding goods applications, how you track like what you're building on, the super chain. We'll plug it into like the dev console, things like that, right? So it's more of like, hey, here's this new namespace that's branded for Optimism. Now let's build in, a lot of the nice little Optimism things into it, and let's build it into the different, applications on OP.
So beyond kind of the Superchain ecosystem, where do you see this evolving in terms of what it is that you're building, like operability wise?
Yeah. So it'll the great thing right about websites is they'll work in browsers, so you can kind of use them for anything. So if the name is kind of like brandable or it works, then it's just good like internet real estate. Now beyond that, right, what we've kind of seen in the crypto space is ENS has been the best like non website use case. But there's a lot of different things that people are messing around with and playing with, right? So like I would say it's still pretty early as far as like on-chain naming goes and what you can do with these names. But that'll be kind of very, quickly changing, at least hopefully, right? So we're rolling out subdomains with this. This is kind of like our big launch for subdomains, which is basically how you sell like usernames for your app or your community or anything. So that'll be pretty interesting because it would be like, okay, now get this community identity that's under a certain brand. We're gonna do some stuff to play around with like fractionalizing names, and like what you can do if like you sell subdomains and then the domain is fractionalized. Those are kind of like the two most immediate things. As far as like what the individual can do, there's a lot of different like profile builders, site builders, decentralized kind of hosting solutions for people that want like ENS profile sites, right? So that someone can go there and see all their links and so on. But that's kind of like where we're at today. And those are then, a couple like short-term things that we're working on.
Talk to us a little bit about your background, because it's kind of fascinating to me that so many folks who came from Coinbase are now founders. And it is very, it echoes kind of what happened at PayPal to me in those early days back in kind of the dot-com boom. If you look at, I don't know whether you've ever seen it, but there's a graph of the PayPal, they call it the PayPal mafia, right? Because so many people who started at PayPal went on to either be VC funders backing major internet companies or just involved in pretty much the who's who of internet business over the last 20 years. And I feel like every second person that I met either at FarCon or people that I am interviewing in these spaces comes from Coinbase. Like what kind of energy and what was happening at Coinbase that was so particularly special, do you think, that's inspired this all of this ingenuity?
Yeah. I think when you get like, somebody at Coinbase and they're like pretty on chain and they're messing around in the ecosystem, and you're building stuff at a big company, which is a ton of fun, right? And maybe you get to do, like, I used to do a lot of research projects. So it was like thinking about, okay, how are we going to kind of build on L2s? What will that look like? What does scaling look like? How do you make sure it stays trustless? Like, how do we actually architect and build standards for this? And it's like you work on this research and then you'll go and kind of implement things. And I mean, there's pros and cons to a big company, right? The pros are is there's a lot of resources. The cons are is you move a lot faster and there's a lot more kind of compliance and so on. So I would say that the cons were definitely a little bit of a bummer, but it was like you're in this very kind of culture rich environment where a lot of people are doing stuff on chain. People are thinking about cool things on chain, how you scale everything. So that would probably be my best guess. It's like you have all these people that are, still early, that are technical and deep in the weeds, and then are like, wait, let me go do something for a little bit.
I think there's definitely a big comparison there with, kind of the early internet commerce and then just this on-chain building energy that we see, and the brilliant brains that are around this moment as well. It's really exciting. What about on-chain summer? Are you guys doing anything exciting in addition
Yeah,
to those rolling?
yeah, we are rolling out a new project called Mystery.box. It's there'll be mystery boxes, as the name suggests, that we're going to be launching, I think, the second week of July. And that's going to be like a more kind of fun degen spin on domains, right? So everything we do is domains. It's all namespace, which can be a little boring to a non-technical user. So we're trying to find ways to make it like less boring and also make it a little fun. And then also like hide some of the tech behind it, right? So they can like dip their toes and slowly get more familiar with it. So we're doing a mix of kind of degen things with mystery box, which obviously we'll see how they work out. They'll at least be pretty funny. But that you won't even get to like pick your name. Those will be subdomains again. And we're thinking of a new name for subdomains. So if you have any ideas that's better than subdomain, let us know.
Oh my gosh. Let's put that to the audience, folks. If you have any ideas for Paul on a better name than subdomain, this is kind of like when we put it out for the word phygital. We wanted to just erase that from the vernacular of Web3. So we will take entries for subdomains. All right.
That would be awesome.
let us know, folks. That's exciting. So, okay, so you guys are keeping it interesting for On-Chain Summer. What is it about kind of the Superchain ecosystem that's exciting to you?
Yeah, no, I think there's just a lot of great developers and builders and people that really kind of care about the space, right? Um, O2s have, come a long way in the last year, and I think OP is, 2 years old-ish, since mainnet, maybe a little older now. But it's really just realizing a lot of the work that's been put into these, kind of blockchain networks, right? Like before, it wasn't practical to put a domain name on chain, because if you had to pay $30 for like a $10 domain, gas fees, people would be like, what the heck? Plus, then when you change your DNS records, those are all on chain. So then that's, more gas fees. But it's like now that we've got everything on, the L2, it's really fast. It's cheap. It's like there's a lot less reasons for people to be like, no crypto.
Yeah. I'm going to just pull up your website here so folks know where to go. But I would say probably the best thing that you could do would be just talk through like the steps that somebody would take, whether they're a business owner, whether they're a dev, they're a creator, like to actually start making moves to get this on chain.
Yeah. So we have a quest on Coinbase. So if anyone has Coinbase wallet, they can get a free domain by completing the quest. That'll also kind of walk them through, how to register and set up a domain. This is our website, which if you go to the home page on the top left, or if you go in the top right to the app, either one will take you there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So essentially, folks can just look for their dream domain here and then get started.
Yeah. So it's super simple. There's search bars, on a couple of the pages, but when you go into the app, that's where you can like search for a domain.
Mm-hmm.
And then we support a bunch of different, TLDs. So anything like .com, .net, .org, .xyz. You can just register names. They'll work as ENS names out the gate. So it's easy to kind of set up your profile. So then you can, type them into wallets and send and receive payments.
I'm realizing you're not seeing what I'm seeing on my screen. Hold on. So you didn't see me go through all the steps, right?
No.
All right, let's try that again. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, folks. This is StreamYard can be a little glitchy. All right, so let me show folks. All right, so share screen. We are going over here. All right. Now, do we need to do a wallet connect for this or no?
No, you should just be able to type it in.
Okay. So you could just put in, like you said, like a .com, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. Every now and then we have some like, stability issues with our downstream, providers. But okay, if you scroll down to suggested names, you'll see. So, goodnews.com is taken, but
Of course. Yep. Not surprised. Well, let's try this. How about this? Because we do have good news on chain.com. So say, all right, so you're gonna have to forgive my lack of techie knowledge here, but so say you already have a domain registered. Can you bring that on chain?
Yeah, so you can transfer it. And essentially what you do is you transfer it from like one registrar to another.
Okay.
So there's a transfer process. You need a little like authorization code, and then you'll go and you'll unlock the domain at, wherever you have it now. And then the domain will get transferred, and then, we'll tokenize it and it'll show up in your wallet. So then you'd be able to manage it on chain and kind of set up an ENS profile for it and everything like that.
Very cool. All right. So what about next steps for you guys? Are you looking at bigger partnerships with major brands? Like, where's your focus in terms of audience capture?
Yeah, so right now our focus is on, just executing on the Superchain namespace and identities. Then shortly after, we're rolling out Mystery Box for on-chain summer. And those will kind of be our two big, like, immediate releases. And then from there, it's really just about building out, infrastructure to make it easier for users to launch their own, usernames and subdomains. So that, will be a lot more focused on, communities, different apps in the crypto ecosystem, and then just tooling around that as far as like, how do you actually search through it, explore, and, browse those names easier. And then, I guess we'll see from there.
Very cool. All right, Paul, any last kind of call to action for folks who are watching this?
No, just search for a name. If you haven't done the Coinbase Quest, will kind of walk you through the whole process. You'll get a free domain out of it, so it makes it super easy to try out the platform.
And tell me what is the? I'm just going to drop this in the comments for folks. What is the domain to get to that quest?
It's just in the Coinbase Wallet app.
Oh, it is. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
It makes it easy. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming by, Paul. We appreciate it. And folks, definitely go give them a follow on X. Are you guys on Warpcast as well?
Yeah.
3DNS _ Inc. on X. And thanks for stopping by. Come by and let us know how it goes, Paul.
Thanks, Rachel.
Take care. Bye. All right, folks, we're going to keep going. I'm going to share some of these other opportunities that are coming up this week. Bear with me one second. So we have, this is definitely worth a shout out. So our friends at Dracula this week just announced that all Drac videos are going to be mintable on Zora. This is super exciting. And of course, Alex, who we had on our very first episode of the Superchain Spotlight Show, he was episode 1. Alex is the founder of Dracula. We had him on the show right as things just kind of took off. Which was really, really exciting for us. It was right around the time the TikTok ban was like a hot topic, and Dracula had just launched. I had just started posting a couple of videos on Dracula. But essentially, if you don't know what Drac is, it's the on-chain kind of TikTok equivalent where you can earn drip, which is their native token. And they just had this awesome announcement about a partnership with Zora. So you can actually have all your videos that you post to Drac can now be mintable. And collected, and this is very exciting. I am actually going to play this video because it's super funny. Let's see if you guys can hear the...
Hey everybody, what's up? This is Alex Mesmesh. I am in San Francisco right now, and I just wanted to say that today we are launching Dracula on Zora. Every single video will be on chain. Now, even beyond Farcaster, you can go viral on chain, earn drip, earn ETH, and I'm so excited that I made a song about it. Let's hear it.
Dracula is live on Zora, just in time for on-chain summer. Now even beyond Farcaster, your video will be on-chain all over. What does going viral on-chain mean? If enough people collect your content, then your video will show up on all on-chain apps and wallets. Based. Dracula is live on Zora. Videos on chain say cooler. Boost your mints to go viral. Make your video show up everywhere.
Okay, so you don't have to go make a crazy video like Alex, but what a great example of showing the potential. Because if we go back to, let's see if we can do this. We go back to Alex's post, you can actually see that, hang on, let me show this again. So by making that video, by minting it on Zora, Alex was able to earn 2 ETH, almost $10,000 from video mints. So folks actually went and minted this video on Zora, and you can see the potential here. So for creators, for anybody who's creating, a content creator who, are putting out regular videos, you may want to be thinking about bringing all of that on chain, because the potential to earn in so many different touch points here is just unmatched. So go give Alex a follow. I did ping Alex to see if we can get him back on the show, because this feels like a pretty significant moment in terms of where we're heading for content creators. If you didn't watch last week's show, I went through a couple of applications that are on chain that I think are game changers for content creators, for anybody who has a business, basically, and thinking about how and why you want to bring your community on chain. This is really just another prime example of why you should perhaps be putting your energies and efforts into something like Drac, as opposed to perhaps building content and building community on Instagram or TikTok or any of those other short form video applications, because you're getting real world earnings, as opposed to, you know, something like YouTube, right? Yes, there's great creator potential, but you have to hit a certain threshold, right? You have to have an audience of at least 1,000 subscribers or 1,000 viewers to be able to really earn anything. And even at that level, it's kind of insignificant, the amount that you're earning. Whereas here, if you have a video that goes viral, that your community loves, and they go ahead and mint it, you are earning right out the gate. And there's no middleman, there's no, you know, application or service provider fees. It's all in your wallet. So I am going to be screaming this from the rooftops every week, why we should all be thinking about building on chain for the foreseeable future. So that's exciting. Very, very cool. Next thing I want to just share is, not that one again. Let's try this one. We are going to look at, let's see, share screen. We are going to a post from Aneri at Base. Here are all the things that are happening. Here's everything that is available to you. And again, I'm going to keep flogging a dead horse here, folks. But essentially, if you're not on Farcaster, you need to get on Farcaster, because this is where all the action is happening. And as you can see here, there, in addition to the Buildathon awards, there's 720,000 USD in prizes. There's 150,000 available in bounties. And then this, obviously, 120,000 OP is going to be distributed by Optimism throughout the summer. 120,000 USD. We claimed bounty, we claimed rounds last week just for our work here on the Good News Show. So be thinking about what you're building, thinking about what you're sharing, making sure that you're going to these channels, the On-Chain Summer channel and the Base Builder channel, to actually talk about what you're building so you can be eligible for those rewards. They are there for the taking, folks. They are there for builders. They are there for people who are contributing to this ecosystem. So make sure you are not missing out on any of this goodness. Don't say I didn't tell you, folks. It's here. It's happening. In addition to OP, there's also 15,000 plus a week in base rewards. Now I'm going to show you how that works. So let's stop sharing here for a second. I'm going to go over to Farcaster. Let's see. We're going to share screen. GM Ron. Shout out to Ron Smith in the comments. GM. All right, we're going to share screen again. We're going to go to Farcaster. All right, so if we go to Farcaster and we go here to Base Builds. Base Builds channel right here. This is specifically for Friday to Monday. So anything you build over the weekend or something you've built during the week and you want to highlight it, go over to Base-Builds on Farcaster and write about it. Just tell people what you built and you will potentially be eligible for rewards. Now we click here, My Rewards. You can see that this week we earned 0.03. We earned that just by coming and talking about what we built last week. It's almost $100, so just a little over $100. So look, whether you're an artist, a creator, a builder, a dev, whatever, come over here and talk about what you're building, and you can potentially be eligible for a little extra cash money in your pocket here, folks. So make sure you do that. That is, of course, the Base Builder, and then we also have the On-Chain Summer channel as well. Let's see if we can find that. On-Chain Summer, right here. Again, look, just hit My Rewards. Make sure you're posting something each week throughout the week. Obviously, make sure it's something that you're building and contributing to On-Chain Summer. Use the hashtag Superchain, and you'll be able to claim weekly rewards, as you can see right here, from Monday to Friday to be eligible for 5,000 OP in weekly rewards. So tons of opportunity here, folks. Lots of exciting things happening in the Superchain ecosystem once again this week. Tomorrow, we are going to be back. We have the founder of DGen joining us for a sit down. I, of course, have Mr. Brock McBlockchain, aka Breadcat, joining me in the hot seat tomorrow, which is very exciting. And we're going to be getting to talk DGen and all things DGen ecosystem. So make sure you join us. We'll be back here again, 11 a.m. Eastern, same time tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.